If ever there was a guy who needed a game like Saturday, it was Noah Whittington. That looked like the guy who I thought we had in the backfield coming into this year, because during the summer, I understood, and I think it was more in the winter because I definitely changed my mind after the spring game, but I thought you might see more of a running back split with Noah Whittington, Jordan James. 1A, 1B, play the hot hand, kind of the way that Bucky Irving and Jordan James got to a season ago. But then after the spring game, I saw how James looked and went, no, that's probably your number one guy. And he is. He still is. But to this point in the year, Noah Whittington had taken some flack from Oregon fans, and I don't think anyone was particularly impressed with his performance. Why? Well, he hadn't been playing that well. He looked a step slow. He wasn't breaking tackles. His yards per carry wasn't very good. Well, the last two games, he's looked like Noah Whittington again. I don't know if his knee is now fully healthy or if he's just gotten his mental swagger back, but that truck stick he hit that poor Illinois safety with on the goal line. Think Oregon's physical enough to play in the Big Ten? You think those West Coast teams can match Big Ten physicality? Noah Whittington can't. How about the catch out of the backfield where he stays on his feet, he runs through a couple of tackles? I mean, he looks like a guy, this is probably not the reason why, but he looks like a guy who has heard the noise and is looking to prove everybody wrong, because boy, he looked awesome. And it is something that is a great development for Oregon offensively. Jordan James has been sensational this year. Running backs can wear down more than any other position on the offensive side. It's just you take a lot of hits, even offensive line, where you certainly take a bunch of hits. You also have a lot of plays where you kind of stand there and you don't have someone running you full speed. But as a running back, every time you touch the ball, you're getting hit at full speed. And as an offensive lineman, that's happening most plays. But I just think that having balance in that room to keep Jordan James fresh, to not have to rely solely on him to create explosive plays out of the backfield or just good plays out of the backfield, is a really positive development. And I think Jaden Lamar has been doing some nice things. But Noah Whittington is individual standout number one from that game, because he looked like the guy who was number 2 on the depth chart to Bucky Irving the first 2 years until he got hurt against Colorado last season. So absolutely stoked. By the way, fun fact, all 5 of Oregon's running backs who we've seen this year can return next season. James, Whittington, Lamar, Harris, Dink Riggs, of course, true freshman. They could all be back. That room's loaded. Let's talk about Dejon Riggs. And first collegiate carries. I don't know if it's because they wanted to give him an opportunity or save Jay Harris's red shirt or whatnot, but I tell you what, looked pretty good wearing LaMichael's number running the football. Breaks an arm tackle on his first carry. I think it was 24 yards. First collegiate carry, runs through an arm tackle, and then bounces to the outside and explodes. And he went, whoa, that was one of the lowest rated recruits in Oregon's 2024 recruiting cycle? That's a true freshman? Okay, great. I think Oregon's going to be really good at the running back position for the next couple of years. Hot take alert, but they're doing just fine. So Riggs definitely gets a shout out there. Justice Lowe. What more do you need to see? What more do you want to say? I know a lot of people before the year, because of how highly rated he was coming out of high school, thought that this would be Jurion Dickey stepping up in the event of injuries or suspensions. Gary Bryant Jr. is still hurt, and Trayshawn Holden was suspended for a game. Lowe stepped up, and I mean, Justice Lowe looks like a weapon. Long touchdown run, good route, just cooks his guy to the inside. Gabriel throws a beautiful ball, and he hauls it in. He's doing a lot of good things. And by the way, do not overlook the fact that Justice Lowe is a phenomenal blocker on the perimeter. He's moving guys around. The old Chip Kelly phrase, no block, no rock. Well, he gets the rock because he blocks really, really well. So I'm here for Justice Lowe love. Like, this receiver room is just crazy talented. And I'm not overlooking Trayshawn Holden and thinking that he needs to, take a back seat to Justice Lowe. I think it's just a great thing for Oregon's offense that they can go from one guy to the next and just no drop off. Just no drop off. Josh Connerly. Go look at a lot of Oregon's big run plays or instances where Dylan Gabriel had a lot of time to throw the football. I didn't see his Pro Football Focus grade, and frankly, I don't care because I watched the game. Connerly was a beast, and he We got to enjoy him while we got him, because that guy looks like he's going to the NFL after the season. He could come back for next year and then maybe play himself into being a first-round pick in the 2026 NFL draft. But, man, I every time I watched him, I felt like he won his rep, and a lot of times he was dominating and moving guys down the field. So absolutely love seeing that. This is a guy who I've really been high on for the last couple of years and is coming into his own, and I think next season is going to have a breakout campaign. That's Devin Jackson. I felt like at the start of this year, Devin Jackson was playing well enough to be on the field. I feel like in the last couple of weeks, even if the numbers don't always reflect it, he is making his presence felt more and more. Quarterback pressures. He looks so fast. And he is. That's why he was a pretty highly rated 4-star coming out of high school. He ran like a 10-4 100-meter dash. And he looks like a freak athlete out there. Oregon's going to lose Justin Jacobs, I believe, and definitely Jeff Bossa and Bryce Betcher after this season in that room. Got to keep Devin Jackson. I imagine they will. I think it's your starting primary linebacker next year, because he just continues to make more splash impact plays. And when he hits guys, he hits them hard. And when he blitzes, there was a blitz where he caused a quarterback pressure. I don't remember. I think he was in on the fumble that wasn't. That, shout out Big Ten officials. And when he blitzes through, he was just faster than Illinois. And he's been that many times this year. So Devin Jackson definitely gets a shout out here. How about Taim Johnson? An over-the-top downfield interception from a safety. Wasn't sure I'd see the day. Again. That was a great thing to see. And it was a good read. And, well, it was a good read by Taim. It was a horrible read by Luke Altmaier. But when a guy makes a play like that, you got to be able to capitalize. And he made a play down the field. That is the first. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but that is the first time a safety has had an interception more than 10 to 15 yards down the. We'll call it more than. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's the first time since Brian Addison in 2022 that an Oregon safety has made an interception more than 15 yards down the field. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it is. So Taim with a shout out, and Taim is just a dynamite tackler in space. Gosh, he looks good. Speaking of good, Brandon Johnson was bringing the house on those DB blitzes. Tosh Lupoy was saying, you know what? Let's send him again. We know how good he is in coverage, but that guy does everything. He's played that nickel or star position really well this season. From game one, he's probably been Oregon's most consistent, productive defensive back. He was causing a lot of havoc. And then Jamari Caldwell. Derek Harmon gets a lot of love. Mateo gets a lot of love. Why? Because they're disruptive. They're getting stats. They're racking up numbers. They're making big plays. But Jamari Caldwell is the guy who's getting the hockey assist. He's not getting the stats, but he's doing a lot more than you realize and creating 1v1 for others or swallowing up double teams. I love this Oregon defensive line. They don't even have Jordan Birch. Might be back this week. Would love to have him against Michigan to be sure, but man, that Oregon defensive line is really good, and Caldwell's been a big reason for that. The Houston transfer has been as advertised so far, and Derek Harmon has been somehow better than advertised. I did want to give myself a pat on the back for two reasons. I think I have earned it here. If you don't think I did, well, I'm going to prove you wrong. My score prediction was as close as it has been all year. Brett Bielema, could you have kicked one extra? Just kick the extra point. You weren't coming back in the game. I had Oregon 38-10, and they win 38-9. That was successful prediction number one. But number two, perhaps even better. My keys to the game for Oregon to win comfortably went like this. Number one, force turnovers. More than one. They forced two. Should have been three. Number two, start fast. Scored on their first two drives. I think first three drives, if memory serves. But they got a lead. And then number three, create explosives. Which explosive play do you want to talk about? The touchdown to Justius Lowe? Just go to the touchdown run by Noah Whittington? Just go down the list. They did it all. Those are my keys to Oregon getting a big, comfortable win. And lo and behold, they got a big, comfortable win. So most of my score predictions have stunk this year. That one did not.